Hi, welcome back Land Rover fans to LR Live, and in today's episode we are going to be looking at wing top vents, primarily aftermarket options, because obviously you've got the standard option on your Defender, and lots of us like to do upgrades. Now there are a whole plethora of aftermarket options available. A lot of them are very similar, but they do have little differences, and I just thought it'd be interesting to see them all laid out in one selection to give you an idea of the differences and what might suit your vehicle. So let's take these and have a look. So the wing top vent is really for the heater matrix. It allows air to pass into the heater matrix for the blowers. Now it's separate completely from the vents you've got on the side of your wings, depending on whether you've got 200 TDI, 300 TDI, TD5, that will denote which side of the vehicle they're on, but they are for the air intake of the engine. So because 90% of Defenders out there have checker plate fitted to a wing top, you're going to have to be very careful about fitting some of these aftermarket wing top vents, because some of them will sit proud of the recess in the wing. And what this means is, if your wing top checker plate is not centralized, it's not been fitted correctly, you're going to struggle to get this in, and you might sort of find yourself having to move your checker plate. So if you are fitting new checker plate wing tops, just make sure that you fit your aftermarket vent first, so it sits in its natural position. Get it, fitted completely in position, and then lay your checker plate over the top and just work out, make sure the gaps all around the outside of this vent are equal, so it'll look really nice when you've got it on the vehicle. The majority of these aftermarket wing top vents are of a very similar design, and it's a design that's only been out for about 15 years. Initially KBX came out with the sort of more dynamic and more aggressive looking vent, and these are normally available in lots of different finishes and colours. Now most of these are available in silver or black, or a combination of both, and with a satin or a gloss finish. Some people do like a genuine brand, because some of the ones we're looking at are really a copy of this, or certainly inspired by, let's say, but it's well made, it's really solid, it's not cheap, horrible, pliable plastic. It is really, really rugged plastic. You've got this stainless mesh on the underside that's fitted with stainless screws. All these little details are really nice to see. And then you've got your vents here. Now they do pass through, so they will draw air better into the system, but really you are only drawing air for the heater. So it's not like you're going to get a performance upgrade, but it is a style upgrade. So these are going to look really aggressive on the top of your wing tops. So they all come with stainless steel screws, which is very important, because invariably the ones you've got on there are probably not the original ones, and they're rusty, but it's just a really nice finish to put those on there. So this is the matte finish, and this is probably more in keeping with the standard finish you've got on the other plastics that come as stock on your Defender. Now if I then show you the one from LR Parts, you will see there's a great deal of similarity. Okay, this again is a finished one, but it's actually a smoother matte or smoother satin finish. So I don't know if you can see that. I mean, this is why I'm doing the video, because I want you guys to see that there is a difference. So if you look at this one here, is the KBX, and that's a sort of a matte satin finish, and this is the one from LR Parts, which is a sort of gloss satin finish, if you like. But again, it's got the same mesh insert inside, it's got the same screws, and you've got the same fitting basically, and again it comes with all the screws to fit it. I'm going to get to some very different ones in a moment, but I've just got two more to show you here. Now these are both from Britpart, and what they offer you is a sort of a departure from that original idea again. They come in black and silver, or silver and black. I believe there are some other options out there, so have a look on the website if you're looking for all black or all silver, but this is just to give you an idea of the finish. Britpart refer to these as an XS Enhancement. So they obviously have that XS Enhancement across the range of finishes, such as light surrounds and grills. So if you've already committed to that and you want to continue the theme, as we've said before, these are a good option. Again, styled in exactly the same way, and they've just got that silver and black finish. They're very high gloss, so they are very shiny and very bling. So if that's the sort of look you're going for, they again are available. As I said before, a little bit plasticky, but once they're mounted into position, you're going to get a good solid fitment on there. So at this point, I'm going to make a little departure away from that standard traditional mold, and we're going to be looking at this particular item here from Optimill. With the wing top vents, they're a little bit less stylized than the other parts, so these would blend in with a lot of other products. So if it was me, these would actually work as a really nice standalone part. And certainly if I was investing in starting to put some Optimill product on my vehicle, probably the wing top vent would be the first one I'd go for. One little trick you can do with these, if you're completely sure about the fitment on your vehicle and you're 100% happy with how they are, fit them with these security torque heads and then just fill the top of them with super glue. And that means that nobody can actually remove them very well. You can, but you have to get heat on them and all sorts. It's very complicated. So that would help prevent them being removed at all, even if you have the correct bit. But just make sure you're happy with them on the vehicle before you go ahead and super glue fill all those little end screws. But a nice little tip there, just in case it's something you want to look at. But they sit really nicely in there. They look fantastic. So they do these in silver, and they do them in a graphite grey and also in a black, and they've all got like a very high polished satin finish, which you can just see on there, I hope. Now, what options could there possibly be left? Well, we do have a couple more options, and the one I'm going to show you here is again from Britpart, and it is a raised air induction ram style wing top plate. Now, I quite like these. I do like the design of them. The only thing I'm not a massive fan of is they're actually really high. There's no real need for them to be that high. It'd be quite nice if they were sort of like the same profile as these, but had the same design. So if they had that sort of pod design on the top, but just a lower profile, I think that'd be really cool. But as it is, they're a much higher one. So again, if you've got things like raised air intakes, do look quite nice on a Puma style vehicle with the bonnet there, because you've got the bulge in the bonnet and this sort of echoes that design. They are quite nicely powder coated, but you just have to be wary of them getting chipped or damaged, because they're only made out of fairly cheap steel. And if they do get chipped, they're going to start to rust. So just keep an eye on them and you touch them up if they start to get chipped around there. But a very nice, easy part to fit. The only thing I would say is they're just stuck on. So you basically, this would cover, I haven't got one, but I don't know if it'll go over the Optimill one. Yes, it will. Look, so if this is your standard Land Rover Defender vent, then this actually just sits on the top like that, look. And you actually have to either glue it or use some double-sided foam tape to get it to sit in position, which doesn't come in the kit. But one little thing I do like is I do like the fact you can't see any of the screws. So that's a nice design element. So again, if you're going for that sort of very smooth, minimalist look on your vehicle, this scoop could be quite a nice little addition. Now, I have one last thing to show you, and it is a wing top cover, but is it a vent? I suppose it is a vent of sorts, and it's a snow cowl. Now, these were developed originally for the military, and the design of them is such that it basically covers your wing top vent in a similar way to this, and to be honest, this would do the same job. And it's just really to stop snow filling your air intake box for the heater matrix and for the heater blower. So it basically would allow snow to drop on there, it would just fall off, and it draws air from underneath. So the original ones for the military were made out of metal. So, you know, they kind of looked a little bit more rugged, but this is a plastic sort of copy, but it does the same function, and for a fraction of the cost, you're going to get a similar kind of look. And I do quite like the effect. I don't think, I have seen them painted, that's probably an option, but I don't think the paint would last very long on this. So you are really limited to having this on your vehicle in black. So with that, that is the selection of wing top vents that I've managed to dig out from amongst the other 250,000 parts here at LR Parts. Just want to shout out to them. Thanks very much for letting me use their workshop and go through everything that they offer to people, so I can pick out a few products and show you guys and create content for this channel. I'd really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up, and maybe possibly if you could subscribe to the channel as well. That would be a great help. I'll leave you to it now, and I will catch you on the next one.